Hello, hello. So I saw a post on Reddit that asked the question, is this a sinkhole? And it looked kind of odd. I mean, it had water in it, so it might have just been like a pipe. But it got me looking at the terrain and looking at the area, and it was in Texas. So I started looking around. It was in Waller County. So while it was in this county, Waller County, in this somewhere in here, I immediately noticed this here, which is like, and then it's probably got some kind of ring around it, maybe here. So like maybe in this region, if this is like a mound and there's like a somewhat support structure, and then between is sort of just hanging there. Maybe some of it can create sinkholes. Like in this spot, I was thinking. And this is not the totality of my thoughts, but I'm just kind of looking at the terrain itself. Also, here it looks kind of like similar to this thing. We'll take the data off, but for now, to keep this outline. And then this looks kind of like a high type thing. So, and then over here, so I was thinking like maybe in these regions, honestly, like especially that, like this portion and around here and maybe around this one. So like in this region, if anywhere, just by glancing at it, I don't really know. It's not, I don't know sinkholes like that. So I'm just kind of looking at it, like contemplating the possibilities more so, like with things I'm acquainted with, not to maybe draw some parallels and maybe actually understand it better. Like maybe here's another of those circle type things. Here's a circle. That then has that circle in it. But so I looked around and I found this article, which was awesome. They, this, the author, Christopher Bride, appears to have made maps using data, I think. Like this one, I think. I think they made these maps, and it's not just like some map they found. But this map, I was like, wait a minute. This is basically oil wells and sinkhole prone geology. They don't explain the colors. The red, I believe, is abandoned coal mines. But the rest of it, I'm not sure. It just says sink prone geology, so it must be all sink prone geology, and green maybe is not sink prone. I don't know. Or especially sink prone. But anyway, this map, I didn't look to see how exact it is. Looks related to this. Like it's even in the terrain here. Stuff inside of here is sink prone. Interesting. It looks like there's a big, maybe half of a nucleus, half of a circle. It doesn't really have the whole circle. It also goes up this way. Maybe. I'm not sure if that's... It must be. It must be. But then here... Let's get away to get this together. It's hard to tell here. So the support structure here. This is a support structure in pink. Blue is a non-support structure, like a place where current flows. Is able to flow. So it's more of an unoccupied space occupied by current flows that maybe are always present in the blue region. So it's not unoccupied, but it's less occupied. It's more fluid. It's more able to have dense things fall into it than like this is. This is just like a rock, literally. This is like some kind of type of fluid. Space for fluid. So it has a support structure here over along this region. Pretty much from the edge of Texas through to here, it looks like, especially, generally speaking. But then it has a gap going over here to here, and then in this region is where all the sinkholes are. Very odd. Like, I don't think it's in this region as much as it's almost where the support structure is. I would say almost. I almost need to find. Let's just pull this off. I'll put it with that there. Actual coordinates to map it the same. So, I mean, let's find this corner. It's got to be there, right? Pretty much. It's just got to be that structure. That's probably good enough. Here. I guess if I just go like that, the furthest out this way to here. So yeah, it's around there. Basically around there is where that is. Where this bend is. Or maybe even between it. Let's see. Let's find the exact coordinate. 2988 77 or 97. So basically there. Eight 93. So it ain't about there. So maybe it's along this, like between, like basically the way I look at this is some kind of current was flowing along an outer edge and then produced a like ridge above the current flow maybe here. Ridge above the current flow. I mean, it's so crazy. This is important. It's literally, this structure goes down here and then over this way. Presumably over this way, because I really think it's like the actual reason a swastika is known in culture, not because of some 19 whatever 30s movement that hijacked it, but because it was actually representing some fundamental aspect of how current flow. And I think it's really here, so it's interesting. I didn't really realize when I was starting to record that I would have that there. Okay, anyway. Not to be like, oh, the swastika. I know people. It's almost like I enjoy like the controversy of it. Like, you guys are wrong though. It's fucking ancient symbol. Why are you mad? Who cares with some? I guess it just goes to show, huh? Okay. So I was thinking though about this. This is still open. It's still open. We were just talking about this. Notably, the dragon comes up here. Actually, the dragon might even be related here. I generally put the dragon up and in there. I mean, I don't know exactly, but essentially the Western Pacific, the Earth expanded and does not function under plate tectonics. All continents were a single landmass, and then a current flowed under the crust from here, from this thing, before this existed, though. This is more like a plug after the fact, I believe. But flowed from here and out this way. This way, it flowed everywhere, but like a main current flowed this way, and then as it flowed every which way, the spin caused the main current this way. But then it also like went up here, came back down here, and interacted. So as the current went out in all directions, then it started to interact and create actual like mounds at the boundaries where the currents were just pushing materials together to then compile, and then they started to have space essentially, and then they flowed and just shaped the entire underbelly of the crust is how I interpret it. So it went this way over here where it ran into an ancient ocean above the crust here, and then heat exchange created the boundary. And then down here, so much is going on. There's so much going on. There's a current that flows out here from here, though. It flows here, here, here. As this region fills with the heat exchanged material, it starts to flow around the ancient ocean. So like the ocean wasn't over here. It wasn't between the continents. It opens a gap. It probably wasn't here either. And like its boundary was generally over here, which is why it didn't really heat exchange the same. But then it got over here and went down to this region right here, where it then fans out like this. This was literally over there. Fans out. And so like this is right here. It's called the Mid-Pacific Mountain. The dragon shape. This, the way I interpret it, formed... Oops. Before I go, you guys can see that, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure. I'm probably gonna just actually link this, be like, I can't say the rest in like short order, so if you're interested, but it's probably too much information. But essentially, this mountain, Mid-Pacific Mountains, are known to have been wind blown, not water blown in deposition. So they had wind deposition. So there was some kind of wind. And I've basically concluded that this current went this way and interacted with a current that was flowing this way, which I talk about in my Earth's undercurrents video. And then it basically, before the continents separated, it flowed from here into Australia, under Australia, where it then ran into that current. And then it basically created a spiraling shape here that then led to a current interaction over here, where there's a current essentially going up this way. I'm not sure exactly, maybe coming, I still don't know exactly where this is coming from, but it's going this way. I generally interpreted it, actually it probably is going from over here down this way, and then this Papua New Guinea. I know it's crazy, but Papua New Guinea is over here. So the current was generally going this way, across it, and then interacting with it, this current flowing from this way, which was over here, flowing from this way, and then there, interacting with it. This here is the opening here. It was here, and it literally like unbuttoned it in this imprinted. And so this current though flowed down here, this current over here, creating this swirling location, which also had all sorts of variables that I believe a sphere was released from here, besides the point. And essentially it emitted though like a jet this way, and then it broke off this way and this way and this way. And that jet then went upward, and right here it points right to the nose of the dragon. So anything from the center point over is still North America. Anything from the center point to the west broke away because the tip of the dragon was here. The mid-Pacific Mountains was here. So it basically broke away to the side. I never noticed that specifically, although now it makes sense. As well as this stops at the middle. And then this side, it just broke away. This probably went more so up the coastline, up this way. I guess through possibly through Sulawesi, and then through the Philippines, which were here. Let me show you. Let me show you guys, in case you haven't seen this. They were like this. Not so much this one. This area is real complicated because there's a lot of change in the terrain up there, but in Alaska region. So I think that's just wrong. I think this was actually, if we look at Borneo, or whatever this is called, Borneo, these chunks here, generally speaking, I'm not sure exactly the boundary on this one, were physically wrapped around this, so that this like little thing here was in here, generally speaking, and creating a like this shape. So it pulled away, almost like a terminal connection that was broken, like a Lego. This was like the Lego thing, and this was the bottom of the Lego that was on top of connecting the Lego blocks. The little peg. This is the peg. And this is like the hollow Lego body kind of thing. Yeah. But they were over here. So here, this was in here. The Philippines, though, were here from basically here to here. And then Borneo, or whatever that island, sorry guys, went past here to this like little ridge here. I believe that was my interpretation, or maybe this one. Something generally with this going around, just hugging it a little bit. So we got this going on the eastern boundary of Australia, where all this is going on. There's Texas here, barely. Just for reference, there's Florida, and then that, like, V shape is opening up, cutting across, opening this, running into that current, and then creating space as it opens, as the oceans open, as the earth expands, as the crust is actually cut apart into pieces so that the pressure inside can be released by basically expanding, and then new ocean crust is formed. So there's that on the eastern side, and on the western side this is my interpretation, like that, where whatever's going on here is more etched out, like it didn't actually have a clear boundary as much as the others. And then I also think this Sulawesi was actually up and in there, like it folded, it bent in this location, I believe. That's my interpretation. And this also bent, like it was connected down here, because the Earth was a smaller radius. And as it reached a new radius, it had to, like, reach a new, like, whatever, shape, you understand. Here's a really good one, though, to kind of depict how, like, it's too anomalously similar. Here's Sutter Buttes opposite Una Una Island, San Francisco Bay opposite Banggai Islands. These lines in the ocean floor correlating with the lines in the North Maluku Island region. I don't know about these arrows, so don't pay too much attention to the arrows, although this might be related to that jet going up. Or maybe this is. It's so straight right there. That line. Right through San Francisco Bay. Interesting, maybe. But, basically it's like got mirror effects. It's got this really big basin, if you will, another basin. So just similarities that are too anomalous to not have actually been like this. Like, there's no reason for them to be so correlated, except for that they actually were like this. Then then it at least has some semblance of making sense, where it's kind of like doesn't fall far from the tree kind of thing. Okay, I think that's good on the animations. Let's go back. So, anyway, where were we? We were looking at this area. I have so many tabs, so many tabs. This goes up. This must be here. Let's see. 35, 4. 35, 4. 96, 8. Basically, depending on how big this, like, circular region, generally, I guess if I zoom in exactly, like, this is two circles, like, right there. 35, 3. 96, 5, 7. It's pretty much exactly circle centered in this circle. And let's see. It's hard to see it again. Here's the center. This is the boundary. Okay, something around here. It's got all sorts of dendrites all covering it too. Like little ones. Compared to like over here, there's like big stuff and then just like subtle stuff. I don't know what to make of it. It's hard to tell also with the amount of like human influence in this location. Okay, let's see. 35, 23, 97. So we're probably about over there. Let's see. 35, 23, 97.3. So we didn't even make it all the way over there. So let's say 98.5, 35. I wonder if there's even another one like here. Coming up this way. 35 what? 95, 35, 6. Definitely a big circle here with a... I was thinking more maybe, I don't know, but like with a nucleus type thing here. That's very visible here. It's like the Eye of Sauron. Oh my god. On top of this pillar thing. Look at it looking this way. What? It's looking normal here, but then it looks like it's physically looking to the side. Whoa. Looking right at me. Ah, it's looking at me. I'm like over here. I'm right here. It's looking at me. Oh, you can't even see me. Let's see. Let me move over here for this. See how much it's looking at me. Measure distance. Let's say there. I mean, it's pretty. It's like straight through it. Oh my, it's like right down the middle. I mean, I could be like this, but it wouldn't be looking at me, but I was right down this. Anyway, besides the point. Before I get all in the dark, like High Sauron and so on. Okay. It does kind of look like a little tower. It even looks like it has some kind of, like the tower of... Let's look at it. Eye of Sauron. Those things. These things. Even on the crown there in that image of the Dark Lord. Okay. Anyway. Okay, let's not get too distracted. That's very cool. I mean, it's very cool that there is this big old circle here that then goes down this way. Okay. Giving more credence to the swastika concept that then has a path this way and over here and up this way and generally over this way, especially visible from here to here. Like in this stretch, it kind of goes around almost. Holy tabs, Batman. Maybe around something there. Okay, so sinkholes. That's real. I really don't want to get too distracted from sinkholes. Oh, this way, up to here. Oh, and then maybe to here, and then up through here. I don't know. It's getting into the mountains a bit too much to be thinking that this thing's too closely tied to the terrain. So there's definitely a big circle here. We can kind of see the center here. The smaller center, like a bullseye here. Double bullseye, or however it works, sorry. Sorry, dart players, I don't even. Let's look at the dartboard. Dartboard. Yeah. I think it's just a bullseye. Double. I don't know. Double bullseye might be the red. Double bullseye. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's actually a double. But anyway, right there is that. And then it's got like a somewhat of a spiral thing going out from it. Like, not quite just circular. More ammonite-like, I'd say. To a degree. Although also with some kind of ring like here. Through here. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. We can see it go from here through here between like this stretch. But then it like continues. Maybe turns here. Around here. Up through here. Basically down to here maybe. So there's a big spiral going on here. There's a spiral going on here. Probably the biggest one here. Although maybe even bigger up here. I don't know. Maybe a huge spiral here that it was so much of a spiral that it produced this. Like this spiral here fed into maybe a spiral here at Hudson Bay that was like close enough to be like a gear next to another gear, like this gear turned a gear here, which then turned a gear down here. Gear here, turned a gear here, turned a gear here, turned a gear here. Just more and more subtle, so maybe even like another gear here kind of thing somewhere else, like here. I don't know. Does look like there's possibly a ring-like structure generally here. I mean, that's probably, let's see what this boundary is right here. In terms of this. Like, is that like here? 150 or 30. 36. Oh. 0.6. There. So the shape boundary is actually not like the inner boundary, but the far boundary. Almost like a shell. It goes over 104.32. Why did I say 104? 105. What is this? It's pretty far. But if there's sinkholes here, and then let's look at this right here. Notice some, like, potential of there being a circular outline here with a center node that is like physically exactly connected right here across this line to this big bubble. So big old bubble here has a little miniature bubble here. Now if this place here, 96, 304. Let's go back to Waller County, Texas. Let's see what this is. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right, that's right. 896. Point. Here, let me bring this over. This right here. 96.05 and then 929.9. I'm pretty much there. Why? Or no. 29.96. Finish the 29.96. Here. So there. So around this tip is this circle. Around there. Let's find where this is. 96.3, 30.4, 30.4. Ninety-six point 30.4. Okay. 30.4, 96.3. Okay. Okay, so round up there. Oh, interesting. This like stretch of this material goes right all the way from over here, from this line. Let's get this. The map sucks. Okay, so from this line, this little thing literally goes across. Like, there's no this color elsewhere, it seems. Directly adjacent, maybe like in general, like over here. Which is interesting. That the region, so if we go back to this region, like nucleus, let's say, and then has a baby. It's like a mother giving birth, let's say, feeding in an umbilical cord of the mother's material. I wonder where this point is. 31, let's find it. Okay, 90, sorry, pardon me, father, also, 97.13, I'm so bad at figuring out which one's which, 31.55. So basically from around here, there's like a conduit to this thing from this channel, as if it goes like that way, and fed across like a material. Even back through here, maybe, like this. Being back through here. Generally speaking, and just having a Eddie, what have you done for me lately, Eddie? Some kind of swirling energy here, producing like a yin-yang, mind you, of a dense with a subtle dense, or subtle with a dense yin-yang, divided to halves, two equal halves, opposites. Also with a second, like, big ol', similarly, maybe, dense, subtle, although there's really no, and this one's very interesting and concerning. I'm like, what in the, that seems very unsupported, this region. as well as Europe in general. Like, what the... If what I'm saying is valid. Like, that does not look very supported. I kind of look at it as, like, the layer... There's stilts in the layers on it, and, like, it's so dense and solid that it's fine, but, like, it can have weaknesses. And, like, water, erosion, things can, like, interact with it in ways where it can then become unstable. This place looks a little... That looks just like it's very unstable. I don't know. Like, there's a support structure here, so maybe that's just enough. Like this. All of the support structure, and it just lays across to the support structure over here. And this is just good enough. Maybe things pushing in or something. I don't know. Wonder if this river... I don't know. So I guess in conclusion, let's go conclude now. There may be sinkholes in this area. I mean, it's certainly not... Here's some other sinkholes I found. These are in western Texas. Sinkholes in Seta, Texas, though, over here. So there's sinkholes here. I believe this is it. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it sure it looks like it. I believe that's it. Oh yeah, look at this structure. That's gotta be a sinkhole. So there's a sinkhole here, which is not where they were showing it over here. So there's definitely sinkholes elsewhere. This one is notably... Let's find this one. We got perfect location. Let's just find it here. Okay. 30.12. 94.6. Okay, so it's like right at the edge of this structure. That's probably goes along this boundary generally. So, like, if there's water flowing this way in this region, I mean, it's certainly along the boundary of whatever this is. Like, there's kind of like a circle here, maybe, circle here, circle here, maybe, circle here, I don't know. Something? No, I don't know. My feet. are swollen. Okay. This ice bag is also warm now. It was cold not that long ago. Damn. I don't know what just happened. It was cold for a while and then it just warm. But it's like I absorbed all the heat into my feet. My feet just cooked it. Okay. All the heat I absorbed. This dude absorbed all the cold and I radiated all the heat from the sunburn in my feet. So this is very rounded. Like it looks kind of like it could have another half. Even like it could have another half here, maybe. Like right here. And then right here, maybe. That seems likely. Or actually down here, probably. I mean, it's certainly not impossible for there to be sinkholes in the location I was looking into, it seems. In Texas in general, I guess, and probably other places. Let's see, map. Sinkholes, United States map. Florida's terrible. Whoa. Okay, let's see. Carbonate, evaporate, gypsum, and salt bedrock. Carbonate. Sinkhole hotspots. Yellowstone region. All through Idaho. That's interesting. Into here. Let's see if we can make a parallel. Yellowstone is right centered around here. Right here, yeah, right there. We can even see lines coming out of it this way, this way, this way, this way, kind of like an X. Like a magnetic field, though, that flowed. To a degree, and also the Bighorn Mountain here, as it has its own system in its own right, really. And, so there's a current, there's a Yellowstone here with a current there and there. Let's see. Let's go back to that sinkhole map. This way. We really need them both simultaneously. Okay. I wish this map had Google Maps overlay. Sorry, guys. Pardon me, that was rude. Sinkholes here. It's hard to say without like looking. I think this right here is around here, maybe. So that would mean the sinkholes are in this region, maybe. Maybe here. This looks like it bends. Like inside here. Not actually where it's supported, but just at the edge of where it's supported. Which kind of makes sense because this, like, if you imagine there's this huge layer that's got a support structure right at somewhere, and the rest of the layer is able to bend, it will actually reach a lower energy, like lower, 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 and the stuff that's like right next to the support structure is gonna be like have no support structure but still be at a high energy level, so it's more likely to like have sinkholes happen, maybe. Because there's space for things to fall into. I mean, this does look like it's probably related to there. Let's see if this is Idaho. Right, let's find this. 1/5. I'll put it in here. Minus 115. Okay. 4306 minus 115 something. Say 20. Is this Idaho? Yes. And it's real clearly in this. We can really see that now. This structure, we can really see its boundaries here. With it centered on this. The Idaho batholith, maybe, I think that's called. No. Maybe? Yeah, pretty much. Not entirely up sure. It looks like it has a yin and yang to it, so like the batholith is the dense region of this half, which has its own like center here. Let's look at that again. Does it have a yin and yang to it? I'd like to see it outside of volcanic rocks and batholith rocks. Whoa. I'd say that's yin and yang, like a dense is like the batholith, and then the subtle, like the hot flow of a volcano is the green, which then makes up its yin yang, kind of very much like Yellowstone itself relative to Bighorn National Forest. This location and this location are this is literally Bighorn right here. This structure that then, unknowns to Bighorn shape and everything about it, has this like eyeball resonating out all the way out this far around it. That is dense Wow, Yellowstone is like hot, volcanic. This is not volcanic. Volcanic. Oh my god, my feet are so swollen. Okay, okay. I gotta go to bed, I guess. I got a pain in the morning somehow. My feet like this. Oh my god. I might just ask Jack. Hey Jack, could you mind just painting yourself today? Oh my god. I mean, they're seriously swollen. What the fuck? It's better when I lay down, but I didn't want to because that's boring. And then I laid down long enough that my feet they weren't as swollen. And then I started recording and now they're bad again. Okay, I guess I should stop then. Fuck. I feel like I'm just like on the verge of something really important that if I stop, I don't know if I'll remember it. I guess as long as I keep talking about this area. So there's sinkholes in this region. And then I think it went sinkholes there too, and over here. So anywhere there's a support structure, and then a gaping hole next to it. Kind of like the rocks we've been looking at. Where, like, the gaping hole has a seemingly continuous layer across it, like atop it. It's just not as below it as continuous as it is above, leading to sinkholes. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. See you guys later. Peace.